Hello, welcome to Lesson 5, Chapter 1. We're going to do a whole bunch of different commands today. These aren't quite as common as the other ones we've learned, but you will use them probably a few times each drawing. But today we're going to start out with this little setup here. We're going to learn how to do polygons, these multi-sided objects here, ellipses, these ovals, and these arcs, little pieces of circles right there. Then we're going to do arrays, rectangular arrays, and polar arrays in a circle. Chapter 3 will be about extending things. That's a cousin of trim. And finally, we're going to learn how to put in all this different text. We're going to learn how to name things. So let's get started with Chapter 1. It's going to be this one right here. Now, just a little quick trick. See these things in the way? I'll show you how to draw these later, but these things are in my way. So instead of even hitting the move command, I'm just going to click on them like that. And see that grip right there? I'm going to grab it and I'm going to move it out of the way. Let me escape, click on that one again. Grip it and move it up there. Good. That's out of our way now. Then I hit escape a bunch of times to get rid of that. But let's get started on this. Now, what's the frame? What is the frame of this object? Well, it's this line right here. Everything, the polygons hang on it, the arcs hang on the polygons, the oval is based on the polygon, so everything starts off with that line right there. So let's start off with it. Let's choose line. Click here, pull it out 6 inches. There we go. And now it's time for polygons. So polygon is up here under rectangle. I usually don't type in polygon, but if we drop that menu down right there, there's polygon sitting here. So let's choose polygon. And then we're going to read our command line. Let's see. Enter the number of sides. This is one of those little quirks of AutoCAD. Does anybody know what a 4-sided polygon is? Well, it's a rectangle. So I don't know why they put that in there. You'd think they'd at least do 3 so we could create a triangle. But they don't. It's 4. We never use 4. But today we're going to use 6. So I click inside the command line and I tell it 6 and enter. Or spacebar, center of the polygon. I'll kind of quickly go through this. I'm going to snap that here. Now it's similar to a circle. I just snapped it. I just clicked on it. Nothing happened because it's asking me, do I want that inscribed in a circle? Do I want that to be inside of a circle? Or do I want that polygon to be outside of a circle, circumscribed around it? Well, most all polygons I'm going to do are inside of the circle. See how I is just sitting there waiting for me? I don't have to even enter I can just hit spacebar. And then it asks me the radius of the circle it's going to fit inside. And if you check, let's see, where is it? It's right over here. If you check that, it's going to be 1.5 is the size of the circle. And let me just show you. If I draw a circle, C for circle, I snap it right to here. I do a 1.5 radius circle. You can see that polygon is inside. It's inscribed that circle. Now let me do one that's circumscribed around a circle. So I'm going to do polygon again. So let's do polygon right there. It's waiting for me. And look, I don't have to enter 6 because 6 is waiting for me. I just have to enter spacebar. Anything inside those brackets is waiting for you. So I hit spacebar. I'm going to draw this one over here, snap it here. Nothing happens because it wants to know, do I want to go in or circumscribed? I want to do this one. I could type in C over here for that because you can see C is highlighted in blue. But let me just click the button. It asks me again, 1.5 exactly, circumscribed around that. And you can see it's a little bigger. If I were to draw a circle, C for circle, snap it right to there, 1.5, enter. You can see that this polygon is outside of it, this polygon is inside of it. That's probably more than we'll ever do with polygons, but that gives you a hint on how to do it. So let me get rid of those circles. We don't need them. But that's everything about polygon we're going to talk about today. Now let's go on to arcs. We're going to draw this arc, and then we're going to draw this arc, and they're pretty different from each other. So up here is arc in the draw panel. Here's arc. Now I'm going to show you this, and then I never want you to do this again. I'm going to drop down the menu. This is just going to be confusing. You don't want to make that decision ahead of time. It's just crazy. Just let's not even do that. Let's just hit arc and follow what's going on down here in the command line. It's much more civilized this way. So the built-in design for arcs is usually a start point here, a middle point here, and then actually this arc goes all the way through this end point here, and then we're going to trim up this piece right here. The automatic fallback for arcs in this program is start, middle, and end, but let me just show you that. So it's looking for the start point, point A. It's looking for the second point, the middle point, part B, and you could see I could make all sorts of arcs with that. I need to choose an end point, and the end point in this case is right there at point C, and there's my arc. I want to get rid of this, absolutely. I could trim that up right now so it looks like that, but let's not do that. Look what an arc will let me do. If I grab that, just like I can stretch a line, I can stretch it right back to there, anywhere along there. Well, it's getting a little confused there. And I can make it exactly the way I want, and there it is right there. Okay, we've just drawn our arc right there. So now let's try to draw this arc right here. It's a little bit different. I'm going to choose arc again, and this time start point. Well, you'd think, oh, I'm going to start there, but I've done enough arcs that I can see if I did a start point, the next thing it's going to ask me for is a middle point, the second point right there, and I have no idea where that is out here in space. So I probably don't want to go 1, 2, 3 because I don't know where a point 2 is. So in this case, I'm going to start it a little bit different. This time I'm going to give it the center of the arc. So I click on center and it asks me, where's the center point of the arc? I can look at that and see the center point of the arc is right there. Click. And now it asks me for the start point of the arc. I'm going to come over here and start it, and then it asks me for the end point of the arc, and I'm going to go that way. There's the end point right there, and I now have that kind of an arc. Now that's the most common way. If you do get into here, we're going to drop down that crazy menu again. You can decide center, start, end. You could have picked on that. It's much easier. You can do a radius. If I gave you the radius, there's well, how many is that? That's like 11 different ways you can draw an arc. But in this case, I usually like to go with a command line. All right, now that we've done that arc, let me show you another way we can do something. Let me delete that for a second. Okay, I just deleted it. And now let's draw that arc again. Let's do A is the shortcut for arc, by the way, A for arc. And we're going to do the same kind of thing. We're going to do center. I'm going to do it right there, and it wants to know the start point of the arc. Now let's say I'm not paying a lot of attention, and I think, oh, well, there's the start point of the arc right there. I'm going to click right there, and now, whoops, look at me. I'm trying to draw that arc, but look what it tries to force me to do. It wants me to go that away. Well, I don't want to do that. Why is it making me do that? Well, just like when we were doing angles a while back, I think it was the last lesson, when you start to put things in, and arcs are like this and angles are like this, it really wants to go in the positive direction. It wants to go in the counterclockwise direction. So in this case, it really does matter where I start and stop. I cannot start here and go counterclockwise to get here. I have to go the other way. So that's not the way to draw that arc. Let me get out. A for arc. I go back to C for center. I can't just start clicking here. It'll get mixed up if I start doing that. Then it asks me second points. It's going to be a mess. So A for arc, and then C for center. Snap to here. I just froze. There we go. Go right here. Then it down here. See, start point. Click. Now I can go counterclockwise, positive, and click right there. So a couple of you may start to do it. That's what's going wrong if you start up here. And we'll do a lot of drawings down the road where you have to put in arcs. Make sure that if you want to go counterclockwise, you have to start over here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter the ellipse. And if I think about it, I might have reversed this in the handout that I gave you, but that doesn't matter. The ellipse wasn't dependent on any of those arcs. So let's go ahead and do ellipse. Sorry, I got out of order there. And ellipse, let's see, underneath ellipse, what happens down there? Let's not worry about any of that. Let's use our command line here. One thing about ellipse, it's very similar to a circle, but it has two radii. Instead of one radius like a circle has, it has two. And that ellipse starts right here, click, and the end point of the axis, it's asking us for our first radius. So I'm going to come out in this direction. I want it to be horizontal. I come out 1, and I see that 1 from right down there. I'm going to come 1 and enter. And you can see it's made an ellipse. That's 1, a radius 1 in that direction. I can make any kind of ellipse that I want to that way. But for this one, how tall is it? This radius right here, distance to the second axis to the other one. I wish that said radius. That makes it then you don't get confused with diameter, but it is the radius. I want to go from here to here, that's 3, so 3, and enter, and there we go. I have just drawn this. Again, on your sheet, I do ellipses before arcs, but it's all going to be the same, and that's the end of Chapter 1. I will see you for Chapter 2, which is going to be about arrays. Thanks.